For many of us, Boy Meets World wasn't just a TV show. It was a journey through friendship, first love, and growing up. We watched it after school and before bed during a time that felt safer and simpler. But more than 30 years later, real life has changed the cast in ways you may not recognize, revealing struggles and tragedies the cameras never showed. William Daniels as George Feeney. William Daniels was born on March 31, 1927, in Brooklyn, New York. At 66 years old, he played George Feeney, the strict teacher, neighbor, and adult mentor to Cory Matthews in Boy Meets World, 1993. Feeney served as the primary authority figure guiding the younger characters through school and family life. Outside the series, Daniels' marriage revealed challenges not visible on screen. He married actress Bonnie Bartlett in 1951, beginning a long partnership that included periods of serious strain. During the 1970s, infidelity and emotional distance nearly ended their marriage, and both later acknowledged the damage caused during that time, despite Daniels' continued professional success in projects like Saint Elsewhere and 1776. Loss added further weight to their personal history. In 1961, the couple lost their newborn son just 24 hours after birth, a tragedy that permanently affected their family. As Daniels aged, physical energy declined naturally, leading him to reduce his workload while maintaining limited involvement in projects connected to earlier roles, including appearances related to Knight Rider and Girl Meets World. Now, William Daniels is 99 years old and largely retired, appearing only occasionally at fan or legacy-related events. With an estimated net worth was $5 million, accumulated over more than 70 years in theater, film, and television, he remains respected for the longevity and consistency of his career. Ben Savage as Cory Matthews. Ben Savage was born on September 13, 1980, in Chicago, Illinois. At 13 years old, he played Cory Matthews, the main character and teenage son of the Matthews family in Boy Meets World, 1993. Cory's storyline followed his growth from middle school to adulthood and carried the narrative across 7 seasons. That level of exposure shaped how Savage handled his private life after fame arrived early. For many years, he avoided public relationships and rarely spoke about his personal life while his identity remained closely tied to Cory Matthews. In February 2023, he married Tessa Angermeyer, marking a clear shift toward personal stability after decades of keeping his relationships out of public view. As his personal life settled, the long-term psychological effects of early fame became more apparent. Savage has spoken about the pressure of being permanently associated with a childhood role and the uncertainty that followed when Boy Meets World ended. Concerns about typecasting and limited opportunities led him to step away from acting for extended periods, even as later projects such as Swimming Upstream and reunion-driven appearances brought him back temporarily. Today, Ben Savage is 46 years old. He lives largely outside the entertainment spotlight, choosing selective acting work while focusing on civic interests and long-term creative goals. With an estimated net worth of around $8 million, his career today reflects deliberate pacing rather than constant visibility. Will Friedle as Eric Matthews. Will Friedle was born on August 11, 1976, in Hartford, Connecticut. At 17 years old, he played Eric Matthews, Cory Matthews' older brother in Boy Meets World. Eric started as a conventional older sibling figure before evolving into the show's primary comedic character, often used to balance humor with family dynamics. That public persona contrasted sharply with his personal relationships. Friedle briefly dated Jennifer Love Hewitt in 1997, a relationship that ended amid rising fame before marrying Susan Martins in 2016 after years of deliberate solitude. During this period, he remained active on screen while navigating increasing discomfort with public exposure. Behind that retreat was an ongoing struggle with mental health. Friedle openly discussed anxiety tied to live-action performance, prompting a strategic pivot toward voice acting. That shift produced defining work as Ron Stoppable in Kim Possible and Terry McGinnis in Batman Beyond, earning critical recognition and a Daytime Emmy nomination while reducing psychological pressure. Now, Will Friedle is 50 years old. He continues to work primarily as a voice actor and podcast host, including Pod Meets World, while maintaining a lower-profile public presence. With an estimated net worth of around $2 million, his career reflects adaptation rather than decline, a conscious shift away from visibility that once felt overwhelming. Betsy Randall as Amy Matthews. Betsy Randall was born on June 24, 1955 in Chicago, Illinois. At 38 years old, she played Amy Matthews, the mother of Corey, Eric, and Morgan Matthews in Boy Meets World in 1993. Amy functioned as the emotional and practical center of the Matthews household, grounding the family through everyday conflicts and long-term growth. That stability on screen mirrored her real life more closely than many of her co-stars. Randall married film editor John Randall, and their marriage lasted for decades, centered on raising their two children, Jessica and Aaron. While her career continued with appearances in shows like Home Improvement, the industry increasingly offered her only maternal roles. This matter quietly narrowed her professional path and shifted her priorities toward family life. Career pressure followed quietly. Randall found herself repeatedly cast as maternal figures, limiting opportunities beyond sitcoms and narrowing long-term growth. As roles diminished after Boy Meets World, she stepped back from acting rather than chase diminishing visibility, choosing domestic continuity over industry volatility. Today, Betsy Randall is 71 years old. She lives a private life with her family in California, remaining largely absent from the entertainment industry. With an estimated net worth of around $2 million, her career stands as an example of quiet departure, a working actress who chose stability over prolonged exposure. Ryder Strong as Sean Hunter. Ryder Strong was born on December 11, 1979, in San Francisco, California. At 14 years old, he played Sean Hunter, Corey Matthews' best friend and the son of a broken family in Boy Meets World when the series began. Sean's storyline centered on instability, abandonment, and loyalty, providing a sharp contrast to the Matthews household and adding social tension to the show. That intensity extended beyond the screen and followed Strong into his adult relationships. After several long-term relationships beginning in the mid-2000s, he married actress Alexandra Barreto in 2013, and they later welcomed a son. Marriage brought structure after years of emotional fluctuation, especially as Strong gradually stepped away from traditional acting and redirected his focus toward directing and long-form creative work, including his involvement behind the camera on Girl Meets World. The deeper cost surfaced earlier and more privately. Strong has described the Boy Meets World set as emotionally harmful, citing manipulation and pressure from producer Michael Jacobs that contributed to a personal breakdown at age 15. The experience led to lasting mental health struggles during his teen years, shaping his decision to avoid sustained on-camera exposure later in life. Projects such as Cabin Fever and later academic pursuits marked periods of recovery rather than escalation. Today, Ryder Strong is 47 years old. He works primarily as a writer, director, and podcast host, including Literary Disco and Pod Meets World, while remaining selective about acting. With an estimated net worth of around $2 million, his career reflects a deliberate shift away from childhood fame toward controlled, self-directed creativity. Danielle Fishell as Topanga Lawrence. Danielle Fishell was born on May 5, 1981, in Mesa, Arizona. At 12 years old, she joined Boy Meets World as Topanga Lawrence, Corey Matthews' girlfriend, who later becomes his wife, initially recurring before becoming a regular from season 2. Topanga's arc followed a clear progression from outsider to long-term partner, anchoring the show's central romantic storyline. That on-screen certainty contrasted with a complicated personal life. Fishell married Tim Belusco in 2013, but the marriage ended in divorce in 2016, a period that coincided with career uncertainty following the end of Boy Meets World and limited acting opportunities. In 2018, she married Jensen Karp, and they later welcomed 2 sons, Adler and Keaton, while she balanced directing work on Girl Meets World and hosting responsibilities that gradually replaced full-time acting. Health became a defining challenge later on. In August 2024, Fishell publicly revealed that she had been diagnosed with breast cancer, a disclosure she made while continuing to record Pod Meets World and participate in professional commitments. Treatment required sustained medical care and adjustments to her workload, forcing her to reassess long-term priorities while remaining publicly engaged. Today, Danielle Fishell is 45 years old. She continues working as a director and co-host of the Pod Meets World podcast, with selective appearances tied to legacy projects and media work. With an estimated net worth of around $4 million, her career today centers on continuity, health management, and controlled creative output. William Russ as Alan Matthews. William Russ was born on October 20th, 1950 in Portsmouth, Virginia. At 43 years old, he played Alan Matthews, the father of Corey, Eric, and Morgan Matthews in Boy Meets World when the series premiered. Alan functioned as the primary parental authority in the family, balancing discipline, financial stress, and emotional responsibility throughout the show. That stability carried into Russ's personal life. He married actress Claire Wren, and together they raised 2 children while maintaining a long-term marriage largely outside the public spotlight. Unlike many television fathers of the era, Russ continued working steadily during and after Boy Meets World, appearing in projects such as Wise Guy and The Right Stuff, which reinforced his image as a reliable supporting actor. Health crises never dominated his narrative, but professional strain did. Russ navigated the challenge of transitioning from acting to directing, taking on behind-the-camera roles while continuing to appear on screen. The shift required adjustment rather than retreat, as he balanced creative control with the realities of aging in an industry that increasingly favored younger leads. Now, William Russ is 76 years old. He remains active in occasional acting and directing work while living a stable, family-centered life. With an estimated net worth of around $2 million, his career stands as one defined by consistency, a working actor who sustained relevance without scandal or collapse. Lindsey Ridgeway as Morgan Matthews. Lindsey Ridgeway was born on June 22, 1985, in Loma Linda, California. At 11 years old, she played Morgan Matthews, Corey Matthews' younger sister, replacing the original actress in Season 3 of Boy Meets World. Morgan's role provided the family's youngest perspective and became more prominent as the series matured. Stepping into an already established role created immediate pressure. Ridgeway continued acting through projects such as Tower of Terror and later voice work including Totally Spies. But the expectations attached to replacing a previous cast member shaped how she viewed the industry. As the series ended, she gradually shifted away from auditions and long-term acting plans, choosing education and personal stability over continued visibility. That transition unfolded over several years. While completing her studies, Ridgeway officially retired from acting in the mid-2000s, redirecting her focus toward counseling and nonprofit work. She earned a master's degree in counseling in 2010, marking a clear professional shift after years spent navigating early fame and structured studio environments. In 2026, Lindsey Ridgeway is 41 years old. She works in nonprofit development and fundraising while also maintaining interests in fitness instruction and music. With an estimated net worth of around $500,000, her path reflects a complete redefinition of success beyond childhood television fame. Matthew Lawrence as Jack Hunter. Matthew Lawrence was born on February 11, 1980, in Abington, Pennsylvania. At 17 years old, he joined Boy Meets World as Jack Hunter, Sean Hunter's older half-brother, introduced in Season 5. Jack's role expanded the Hunter family narrative, shifting Sean's storyline toward reconciliation, responsibility, and fractured sibling bonds. That tension echoed into Lawrence's adult relationships. After early high-profile romances, he married Cheryl Burke in 2019, a union that collapsed during prolonged separation caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The divorce finalized in 2022, overlapping with a period where Lawrence reconnected professionally with his brothers through projects like Brotherly Love, revisiting shared fame after years shaped by roles in Mrs. Doubtfire and The Hot Chick. Professional strain compounded personal fallout. Lawrence later revealed that he had walked away from a Marvel-related project after experiencing sexual harassment by a director, a decision that led to being dropped by his agency. The incident reframed earlier career stagnation that followed long-term typecasting from childhood stardom, despite steady work in television and film through the 1990s and early 2000s. Today, Matthew Lawrence is 46 years old. He works across podcasting, selective acting, and music projects with his brothers while maintaining a lower-profile public life. With an estimated net worth of around $3 million, his career reflects endurance through industry pressure rather than uninterrupted momentum. Anthony Tyler, Quinn as Jonathan Turner. Anthony Tyler Quinn was born on July 25, 1962, in New London, Connecticut. At 32 years old, he joined Boy Meets World as Jonathan Turner, the English teacher and guardian figure to Sean Hunter, starting in 1994. Turner's role introduced an adult mentor outside the Matthews family, reshaping Sean's arc through discipline, trust, and responsibility. That grounded presence reflected Quinn's real life. He married his high school sweetheart Margaret in 1985, and they raised 2 children, Andy and Roman, maintaining a stable family while he worked steadily in television. During and after his run on Boy Meets World, Quinn appeared across episodic TV and TV movies, including Caroline in the City, and later dramatic work that emphasized reliability over stardom. Career pressure came from consistency rather than crisis. After the series, Quinn continued acting without major breakout roles, choosing faith-centered and character-driven projects such as No Greater Love while returning to the Turner role in Girl Meets World. The path favored longevity and balance over industry volatility. Today, Anthony Tyler Quinn is 64 years old. He remains active in selective acting, often aligned with faith-based and television projects while prioritizing family life. With an estimated net worth of around $1 million, his career reflects steadiness built across decades rather than headline peaks. Trina McGee as Angela Moore. Trina McGee was born on September 6, 1969, in the Bronx, New York. At 28 years old, she joined Boy Meets World as Angela Moore, Sean Hunter's girlfriend and Topanga Lawrence's closest friend, debuting in Season 5. Angela's presence introduced one of the earliest interracial teen relationships on network television, altering the emotional and cultural scope of the series. That visibility carried personal cost. McGee married Randall Cortland Davis, a marriage that lasted 10 years and produced 3 children before ending in divorce, leaving her to balance single motherhood with continued acting work. During this period, she appeared in projects such as Friday After Next and recurring roles on Martin, while navigating an industry that offered limited space for Black actresses in teen-centered sitcoms. Professional and physical strain converged later in life. McGee publicly addressed racial mistreatment during her time on Boy Meets World, including her unexplained exclusion from the original series finale. In 2024, at age 55, she announced a pregnancy with her 4th child during her marriage to Marcello Thedford, a pregnancy that ended in miscarriage, bringing renewed public attention to the risks and emotional toll of late motherhood. Now, Trina McGee is 57 years old. She continues working intermittently in acting, writing, and interviews, drawing on decades of industry experience and public advocacy. With an estimated net worth of around $1 million, her legacy remains tied to both cultural impact and unresolved industry tension. Maitland Ward as Rachel McGuire. Maitland Ward was born on February 3, 1977, in Long Beach, California. At 21 years old, she joined Boy Meets World as Rachel McGuire, the roommate of Eric Matthews and Jack Hunter, beginning in Season 6. Rachel's introduction shifted the show's college-era dynamic, adding adult independence and romantic tension to the ensemble. That visibility followed years of mainstream acting. Ward previously appeared on The Bold and the Beautiful, and later in films like White Chicks, but post-series opportunities narrowed as typecasting intensified. In 2006, she married Terry Baxter, whose support became central as she stepped away from conventional Hollywood roles and explored alternative creative paths. The turning point arrived in 2019 when Ward transitioned into adult entertainment, a move that generated widespread controversy and distanced her from parts of the former cast. She framed the decision as a strategic reinvention, pairing performance with authorship through her memoir and maintaining a direct connection with audiences beyond traditional studios. In 2026, Maitland Ward is 49 years old. She continues working as an adult film performer, writer, and public speaker, controlling her output and brand independently. With an estimated net worth between $4 to $6 million, her career stands as a deliberate departure from mainstream norms toward self-directed enterprise. Lily Nicksay as Morgan Matthews. Lily Nicksay was born on January 8, 1988 in Los Angeles, California. At 5 years old, she played Morgan Matthews, Corey Matthews' younger sister in Boy Meets World during Seasons 1 and 2. Morgan functioned as the family's youngest child, grounding early household storylines before the character was later recast. That early exposure shaped her private life rather than expanding it. Nicksay married songwriter Dave Gibson in 2015, and they welcomed a son in 2021, choosing a family-centered life away from constant public attention. While her childhood fame included appearances in projects such as The Negotiator, adulthood shifted her creative focus toward theater rather than television. Career pressure emerged quietly. After leaving Boy Meets World, Nicksay continued acting but avoided long-term television roles, redirecting her energy toward stage work and academic pursuits. Her performances in productions like Sea Rock City earned critical recognition, including an Ovation Award, marking a deliberate move toward controlled, craft-driven work instead of early stardom repetition. In 2026, Lily Nicksay is 38 years old. She remains active in theater while balancing family life and selective creative projects. With an estimated net worth of around $500,000, her career reflects a measured transition from child actress to independent stage performer. Alex Desair as Eli Williams. Alex Desair was born on July 18, 1968, in New York City. At 27 years old, he joined Boy Meets World in 1995 as Eli Williams, Jonathan Turner's close friend, a recurring presence who widened Turner's adult world beyond the classroom. Eli's role added a grounded peer perspective to Turner's mentorship arc and reinforced the show's shift toward young adult themes. Away from the series, Desair has kept his personal life deliberately private. That discretion coincided with steady ensemble work rather than headline stardom, including sitcom appearances on Becker and film roles such as Swingers, where his supporting turns emphasized reliability over visibility. The pattern favored continuity across mediums instead of celebrity exposure. Career pressure arrived through scope, not crisis. As lead roles remained scarce, Desair diversified into voice acting and music, building parallel lanes that sustained momentum. He expanded his screen resume with character work across television while establishing a strong voice portfolio, most notably stepping into The Simpsons in 2020 as Carl Carlson and Lou, and continued performing with reggae/ska collectives like the Lions, keeping creative output consistent. In 2026, Alex Desair is 58 years old. He remains active across acting, voice work, and music, selecting projects that align with long-term craft rather than short-term fame. With an estimated net worth of around $1 million, his career reflects durability earned through range and restraint. Lee Norris as Stuart Minkus. Lee Norris was born on September 25, 1981, in Greenville, North Carolina. At 12 years old, he played Stuart Minkus, Corey Matthews' academically gifted classmate in Boy Meets World when the series began. Minkus embodied intellect and competition, serving as a counterbalance to Corey's emotional growth in the show's early seasons. That early recognition influenced Norris's adult relationships and lifestyle. He married Andrea Norris in 2011, and the couple has maintained a private family life away from industry spectacle. As his screen presence matured, Norris found renewed visibility through One Tree Hill, where he portrayed Mouth McFadden, extending his career beyond childhood roles. Despite consistent work, Norris faced limited lead opportunities and gradually diversified into writing and behind-the-scenes interests. His later return to the franchise through Girl Meets World, reprising Minkus as a successful adult, reflected both nostalgia and professional continuity. Today, Lee Norris is 45 years old. He works selectively in acting while maintaining a low-profile personal life. With an estimated net worth of around $300,000, his career stands as an example of longevity shaped by adaptation rather than constant visibility. More than 3 decades later, Boy Meets World isn't just a sitcom. It's a time capsule of growing up, success, silence, and survival. Some cast members found peace away from the spotlight, others reinvented themselves, and a few are still searching for closure. Which cast member's journey surprised you the most? And whose story do you think deserves to be told next? If you enjoyed this deep look at where they are now, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more then and now stories you won't hear anywhere else.